Do you know what happened to the Pharaoh who claimed to be divine? A child was born in Egypt who changed Egypt and ended Pharaoh's reign. Who was this child, and how did he stop Pharaoh's rule and change Egypt's history? We will find out about Pharaoh's dream and this special child who said he was from the divine. The birth of Musa and Pharaoh's dream. In ancient Egypt, where majestic pyramids touched the sky, a new pharaoh rose to power, fearing the growing numbers of Israelites in his land. This pharaoh was cruel and ordered harsh tasks for the Israelites. But his fear grew when one night, he had a troubling dream. A giant fireball descended from the sky, burning only the Egyptians' homes while leaving the Israelites' homes untouched. Terrified by this vision, Pharaoh consulted his wise men and magicians. They told him a prophecy that soon a boy from the Israelites would rise and challenge his rule. Fearing his loss of power, Pharaoh ordered a dreadful decree. All newborn Israelite boys were to be killed. During this dark time, a child named Musa was born into an Israelite family. Knowing the danger her son was in, Musa's mother placed her faith in God. She put baby Musa in a basket and let it float down the river Nile, praying for his safety. Musa's journey down the Nile. As dawn broke over the Nile, a small basket nudged by the current embarked on a perilous journey. Inside, a newborn Musa lay quietly, his fate entrusted to the river's flow. His sister, filled with worry yet hopeful, kept a vigilant watch from the shore, ensuring her brother's safe passage amidst the gentle ripples. The Nile, with its life-giving waters, carried the basket with a purposeful grace, drawing it ever closer to a destiny foretold by divine prophecy. It floated downstream until it reached the opulent waterfront of the pharaoh's palace. At that moment, the pharaoh's wife, seeking respite in the cool morning by the river, noticed the unusual sight of the basket bobbing in the water. Intrigued, she commanded her servants to retrieve it. As they brought the basket to her, the lid was gently lifted to reveal the sleeping child within. The moment the pharaoh's wife laid eyes on Musa, a profound sense of connection stirred in her heart. Overwhelmed by a maternal instinct she had not known before, she decided then and there to adopt the child, despite her husband's harsh decrees against the Israelites. Musa, thus, grew up in the splendor of the pharaoh's palace, surrounded by luxury but oblivious to his true heritage. His biological mother, under a divine arrangement, was brought to the palace to serve as his wet nurse. This arrangement allowed Musa to be nurtured by his own mother's love and care, fortifying him with the strength and spirit needed for the challenges that lay ahead. In this way, Musa's early years were shaped under the watchful eyes of his family and the protective walls of his unsuspected enemy's home. Musa discovers his true identity. As Musa matured, he became known for his strength, wisdom, and kindness. He became a beacon of hope, helping people from all walks of life. Yet, his world turned upside down the day he discovered his true origins. This revelation struck him when he witnessed an Egyptian guard cruelly beating an Israelite slave, a sight that ignited a fire of justice within him. Unable to stand the injustice, Musa intervened to protect the slave. In the heat of the moment, he accidentally killed the guard. Realizing the gravity of his actions and the potential repercussions, Musa was gripped by fear. He made the difficult decision to flee from everything he knew. With a heavy heart, he escaped into the desert, embarking on a journey that would transform him from a prince of Egypt to a prophet of his people. Musa's exile and a new beginning. In the vast, sun-baked desert, Musa wandered alone, guided by his faith. After many days, he reached the land of Midian. Exhausted and thirsty, he stumbled upon a well where local shepherds gathered. There, he noticed two women hesitating on the sidelines, unable to approach the well because of the crowd. Moved by a sense of justice and kindness, Musa approached them and learned that they were waiting because their elderly father could no longer manage the task. Musa didn't think twice. He helped them water their sheep, showcasing his strength and compassion. The sisters were grateful, and one of them invited Musa to meet their father, a wise old man who offered Musa a home and a job as a shepherd in return for his kindness. A divine call in the desert. Musa had found a semblance of peace in Midian, having married one of the local shepherd's daughters. His days were filled with the simple pleasures of pastoral life, tending sheep in the tranquil wilderness. But the calm was not to last. His destiny had grander designs. One fateful evening, while leading his flock near the mountain of Horeb, Musa noticed an unusual sight: a bush ablaze, yet not consumed by the flames. As he approached, intrigued by this divine anomaly, he heard a voice calling out to him. It was God, speaking directly through the burning bush. This encounter would forever alter the course of his life. God revealed to Musa a monumental mission. He was to return to Egypt and lead the Israelites out of bondage and towards freedom. To affirm his divine commission, God bestowed upon Musa miraculous abilities. His staff could transform into a serpent, and his hand would glow with a celestial light when withdrawn from his cloak. Armed with these heavenly signs and accompanied by his brother Aaron, also chosen as a prophet, Musa prepared to confront the Pharaoh, emboldened by faith and the power of his calling. Confronting Pharaoh, a challenge of faith. Back in Egypt, Musa and Aaron went before Pharaoh, challenging him to free the Israelites. They demonstrated the divine signs, but Pharaoh, whose heart was hardened, refused to listen. Instead, he accused Musa of sorcery and intensified the Israelites' suffering. Determined to show Pharaoh the power of the true God, Musa warned him of the consequences of his stubbornness. Yet, Pharaoh's arrogance was unyielding. God then sent a series of plagues upon Egypt, each more devastating than the last, from rivers turning to blood and swarms of locusts, to days of darkness and the death of firstborns. Each plague was meant to soften Pharaoh's heart, but he continued to resist, convinced of his own godlike power. The final plagues and Exodus. Despite witnessing the severe plagues, Pharaoh remained defiant, refusing to free the Israelites. It wasn't until the final and most dreadful plague, the death of all Egyptian firstborns, that Pharaoh's resolve finally broke. In despair and fear, he summoned Musa and Aaron in the dead of night and urged them to leave Egypt with the Israelites. Under the cover of darkness, Musa led his people out of Egypt, but as they reached the Red Sea, they found themselves trapped, with Pharaoh's army in hot pursuit. In this moment of dire need, Musa's faith did not waver. He raised his staff, and by God's command, the sea parted, opening a path for the Israelites to cross on dry land. Pharaoh's defeat and Musa's leadership. As the Israelites made their way across, Pharaoh, in his arrogance, ordered his army to follow. However, once the Israelites reached the other side safely, the waters returned to their place, engulfing Pharaoh and his army, marking the end of his tyranny. Musa continued to lead his people through the desert towards the Promised Land. Along the way, they faced many challenges, including moments of doubt and rebellion from the Israelites themselves. Yet, Musa's leadership remained steadfast. He received the 10 Commandments from God, which became a moral and legal foundation for the Israelites. A legacy of faith and freedom. Musa's leadership through 4 decades in the wilderness was a profound period of spiritual and moral testing for the Israelites. Each year in the desert was filled with challenges that tested their faith, commitment, and obedience to God's commands. Despite these hardships, Musa's unwavering faith and dedication forged a strong communal identity among his people. His teachings, especially the 10 Commandments received on Mount Sinai, laid down a foundational ethical code that would influence countless generations. Although Musa himself was never destined to set foot in the Promised Land, the lessons he imparted, from trust in divine providence to the importance of justice and mercy, left an indelible mark on the spiritual landscape. His life remains a testament to the power of faith to guide freedom and transformation in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey through history and faith. Musa's story teaches us about the power of steadfast faith and the triumph of freedom over oppression. What was your favorite part of this story? Let us know in the comments below, and if you found this story inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Remember, every story holds a lesson, so keep seeking the wisdom in each tale. See you in the next video.